Smartphone gimbals might actually be fun again. Here's the iSteady M6, a 3-axis stabilizer with fill light, some pro-grade features and build quality which can really impress you. But is it good enough? Let's inspect. Hey everybody, really good to meet you. My name is Michael. On the channel we inspect a lot of cool and fresh tech, and today we're going to talk about smartphone gimbals. Truth is that in the past months I haven't published any smartphone gimbal reviews because recently they have become really good and there have been barely any innovations in the past couple of years, probably with exception for DJI's Osmo mobile line, but over there they try to kind of lock you in their software ecosystem, and the latest Osmo mobile generations have been more like transforming a smartphone gimbal into something like expandable selfie stick, which is at the same time motorized, which is kind of weird, but of course obviously effective enough. Now, this market has been, in my opinion, a bit boring up until I saw this, the M6 by Hohem Tech, the iSteady line, which is bringing back this more traditional looking smartphone gimbal shape and style, and at the same time bringing a bunch of innovations, including this control wheel, the ability for AI-based tracking without the need to use a smartphone app, and also this additional fill light, which can also be RGB based. And all these innovations, I believe, make it interesting enough for a thorough review. So the point of this episode is to expose all the strengths and weaknesses of the iSteady M6, but also to show you the state of smartphone gimbals in 2023. Right now, besides the many models that we know from the past few years, the latest contenders are from Zhiyun and DJI, with Osmo Mobile 6 being perhaps the most popular out of all. But it is also true that DJI have their own priorities and tend to lock you in their software ecosystem, while Hohem's philosophy seems to empower you to shoot whatever you need, regardless of the situation and the state of the software. In that regard, and considering the catchy features like the AI-independent tracking, the fill light and the control wheel, feels like it could be a good deal. Unboxing time, and this is the kit edition with the AI vision sensor. If you don't need it, then this will of course streamline the budget that you spent. I was really impressed with the big size of this box, and through the years, Hohem have traditionally had some massive packs considering the scale of their devices inside. But it looks like there's good justification here, because a hard protective case to guarantee that your gimbal is going to travel safe and sound, and to me having a safe way to protect gear is essential. Apparently M6 is not pocket-sized smartphone gimbal, so better keep it in the box while traveling. You're going to find some cool accessories like the basic tripod, a few connectivity cables for charging or wired controls. The user guide is also fantastic, easy to read, and there aren't any hard-to-get parts. High-quality plastic seems to be used for the main parts of the body of iSteady M6, very soft, almost feels like rubberized texture, so that's good grip overall. There's apparently a small reference display, a joystick, a power button, a Type-C port and a 1/4-inch mount on the side and also at the bottom, a lock slider and trigger button on the opposite of the display side, and of course, the wheel. There also are 2 additional buttons which can help you to set points for time-lapse, something I cannot recall seeing in other smartphone gimbals yet, so that's another interesting new idea. I didn't expect such a strong start, so let's quickly go over the specs and see if they are any good. 3-axis stabilization, and the panning is infinite. 2600 mAh inbuilt battery for up to 18 hours operation time. Payload support is around 400 grams. Motor protection, optional fill light with AI vision sensor, very reliable stabilizing mechanism, all the control features and stabilizing modes that you can think of, Bluetooth support for connecting the smartphone wirelessly, and total weight of the gimbal is around 550 grams. Great sounding specifications. And you know what? Some years ago, I was actually testing smartphone gimbals for motor noise because there was such a thing, and now recording this with the inbuilt microphone inside the smartphone, it feels great. No noise at all besides the winds that you probably can hear. So, that's the Hohem iSteady M6 in action, recording with the Google Pixel 7. The front camera is good enough, but I wanted to add some bit of stabilization, and that's the POV mode, which feels pretty good. As for the specs, 18 hours operation time with the battery sounds amazing, but in real-life conditions, it's a bit different, because if you think about an imbalanced smartphone, and if you have a case which adds more payload, if you use the fill light and the AI tracking and so on, probably, especially now in wintertime, that's going to be no more than, I don't know, 5 to 6 hours, and I want you to be prepared about the worst-case scenario. If I have to highlight the best and the worst characteristic of this gimbal, among the best, probably I would say the possibility to track without the need of using the smartphone app. As for the worst one, it's not waterproof, therefore stay away from rain and snow. Now, time for some use cases. We should agree that smartphone gimbals are already way beyond just being stabilizers. Same with the M6 over here. I'm gonna begin with what is super efficient and also very cool. Where other devices like Osmo Mobile 6 are going to require you to use a smartphone app and let the phone make all the decisions about tracking, here you can use this little mod and it's going to control the gimbal for you. If you're a one-man show like a teacher, presenter, a YouTuber doing unboxings of big things, this is the real deal. Most of the time, the algorithm works really well, and my only remark is the sometimes too rapid stuttering movements and adjustments, but this will likely get better over time with the updates, and if you have the patience, looks like you can fine-tune the behavior from the smartphone app. The other cool feature that I've already shown you is the light function. Not only you have choice between warm and cold white tones, but also RGB, so you can get some colorful lights and go for some pretty decent shots. I've never imagined product videography might be possible with just a smartphone and a gimbal, but adding a power horse like the Google Pixel 7's camera and these cool effects, this actually looks really nice. Besides the light and the AI tracking, iSteady M6 has a few more tricks up its sleeves, like the unlimited panning, because the last smartphone gimbal that I tested, and was capable of doing this, was like 3 years ago, and I did miss this feature with other models because Inception mode is so much better and easier. Speaking of modes, I've said it before and will repeat it once again, my opinion is that Hohem's menu is by far the easiest to get used to, because you simply press a button in order to switch between the 4 different modes, and the display now shows you what exactly you're up to. It will also show the state of the light or the wheel, which you can use for focusing or tilting. The trigger button is as usual good for switching to vlogging modes or recentering the gimbal. The iSteady M6 also follows the trend about selfies, but I think that the implementation here is not that good, because unlike some competitors, you need to manually switch to vertical mode by doing this. It still works, but requires some attention. I guess after so many samples, you already have a good idea about the qualities of the gimbal and the grade of stabilization. The better your smartphone camera is, the better the footage is going to be, but even if your phone doesn't have optical or electronic image stabilization, iSteady M6 will take care of minimizing the shakes down to minimum. Doesn't matter low light or daytime. The app is also completely reworked. It's in fact a brand new one called Hohem Joy. The shooting templates are still here, and you're going to see some other creative ideas, although not yet DJI Mimo grade. Definitely, the Hohem Joy app deserves attention and praising, and it is fairly good about what it is supposed to do. Never had a crash on Android 13, which is a good sign about stability, so let's hope that Hohem Tech are going to continue to stick to these high standards. Now, just as we need to properly balance the phone for the most optimal results while shooting, I need to balance the coverage of this review in order you to be able to get the most out of it. So, good to see about the drawbacks. iSteady M6 is bigger than most competitors in terms of size and almost 50% heavier than Osmo Mobile 6, although the weight is bearable in my opinion. Not waterproof and more expensive than any other smartphone gimbal that the company has released up until now. but it also happens to be the most advanced and premium out of the iSteady lineup until now. So, what do you think? Do you like this traditional shaped gimbal with excellent build quality, apparently very good performance, amazing battery life, and these extras like the control wheel, the nice front display, the ability to do AI tracking without the need of a smartphone app, and the fill light? All of these additional features that you can take advantage with the kit option, but you can also just get the bare gimbal and save some bucks. Let me know what you think about all of that. I guess I'm gonna keep this one mostly because I want to use it for action camera stabilizer, because yes, if you use a conversion plate, it can easily stabilize a GoPro, a DJI Osmo Action, or Insta360 or anything with that kind of form factor. Well, in case you have more questions, be invited, comments are down below the video. If you want to share something, same places are waiting for you. As usual, more information about the product, ways to order it, and some ways to support the channel and our work here you can find in the video description area. Thank you very much for watching this episode. I hope it was useful and fun to watch, and can't wait to see you in the next one, so subscribe. Bye.